Welcome to our What's New for SOLIDWORKS 2026 series. Over the next few minutes, I'll take you through some of the updates at part level. Powerful part creation and modification is what you've come to expect with SOLIDWORKS design. With SOLIDWORKS 2026, the part updates brings you improvements to sheet metal, equations, structure system, and reference geometry. Let's take a look. Sheet metal base flanges have always been extruded from the sketch plane. This could involve the creation of reference planes to get things in the right place. In some cases, it would be beneficial to offset the sheet metal base flange from the sketch plane. SOLIDWORKS Design 2026 allows you to offset base flanges by a specified amount, by a vertex, or by a surface, face, or plane, giving you even more flexibility when creating sheet metal parts. Breaking exterior corners on sheet metal parts has always been straightforward. Just select the Break Corner tool and select Collect All Corners to apply chamfered or filleted treatments. A big time saver compared to manually selecting each edge. SOLIDWORKS Design 2026 now expands this functionality to internal corners, making the treatment of sharp internal corners much faster. Equations in SOLIDWORKS Design are used in features and sketches to create links or conditions to dimensions that would otherwise be impossible. However, when a feature or sketch containing equations is deleted, the equations would be left dangling, causing errors in the Feature Manager design tree. You'd then have to manually delete them in the Equation Manager. With SOLIDWORKS Design 2026, simply select the Delete Equations checkbox to automatically delete those equations and move on with your designs without errors. Structure systems are a great way to create welded structures without requiring a sketch line for each individual member, like with weldments. This makes generating these parts extremely fast and efficient. Corner treatments are also much easier to apply. In SOLIDWORKS Design 2026, structure system corner treatments are more consistently coloured to indicate the corner type. And now when you select a complex corner to modify, a brand new graphical selection pane appears, giving you complete and intuitive control of the corner treatment with even better previews than before. Cut lists gather all identical bodies together for easy categorization and makes generating bills of materials simple. However, it may be difficult to access this information for downstream workflows such as SOLIDWORKS PDM, the 3D Experience platform, or any other PDM, PLM or ERP system. SOLIDWORKS Design 2026 enables you to reference cut list properties such as description, total length and more in the part's configuration properties, making this information easily accessible without having to rely on workarounds. Reference points are a great way to provide precise locations in 3D space that aren't tied to standard sketch geometry. They give a consistent, independent reference that can be used for locating positions for features, advanced mating in assemblies, setting up measurements, analysis and more. However, in the past you would need existing geometry to create them. In SOLIDWORKS Design 2026, you can now define the position of reference points using numeric X, Y and Z values. Here we can see they are being used to generate a layout for what would otherwise be a challenging 3D sketch, which is then used as a path for a sweep feature. Bounding boxes can give us the lowest volume box or cylinder around a specific object, but in some cases we don't always want the smallest. If the material used consists of a grain direction or is anisotropic, it may be beneficial to orientate the bounding box along a specific plane. However, if the part geometry changes significantly, SOLIDWORKS Design may change the direction, which is defined by length, width or thickness. Now in SOLIDWORKS Design 2026, you can specify these directions based on a user-defined coordinate system. That means that the defined direction, X, Y or Z, will always associate with the bounding box definition. This gives you the confidence in the bounding box labels, even if the part changes significantly. In this example, the bounding box width, defined by the X direction, is 33 inches, which is greater than the length of 30 inches. When we change the part configuration to the shorter length, the bounding box width is now 27 inches, while the bounding box length is maintained at 30 inches and did not swap due to the change in width of the geometry. With SOLIDWORKS 2026, you'll now be able to offset sheet metal base flanges from their original sketch plane and break both external and internal corners quickly, delete equations that would otherwise cause Feature Manager tree errors after the deletion of an associated sketch or feature, apply corner treatments to structure system parts with confidence using improved previews and user interfaces, leverage cut list properties for PLM and ERP systems, define reference points using numerical X, Y, Z values, and specify bounding box directions using coordinate system for greater control. Please join us in our next video for what's new in assemblies for SOLIDWORKS Design 2026.